Hi, I'm Navy SEAL Motivational speaker David Rutherford. I'm also an author for kids and adults, a performance coach, podcast host, and a YouTube personality. Are you and your team looking for a high-energy, high-impact speaker that'll not only entertain you, but also leave an indelible mark? Then I'm your man. For the past 25 years, I've been exploring and researching the human condition in my epic quest to discover what enables us to succeed in every environment imaginable. Now, my journey has taken me around the world as a SEAL operator, medic, and instructor, also as an international training and security expert for one of the largest private contract companies in the world and the U.S. government. And for the past 10 years as a top motivational speaker and team development coach. I've worked with some of the world's leading companies and helping them to discover what it takes to succeed in the highly competitive markets of today. What's the number one reason why we stumble and fail in the combat of life? Fear. Nobody understands the powerful aspects of fear better than Navy SEALs. I've been researching fear for years on every level. When you hire me to give my Embrace Fear talk, I'll introduce you and your team to the 5 missions that will immediately begin helping you and your team use fear as an effective tool. I'll leave the audience with a positive tactic that they can take back home in their personal and professional lives to begin defeating the negative insurgency. Watch this powerful clip from one of my Embrace Fear talks, and when you're done, reach out to me and my team at teamfroglogic.com/contact. I'm ready to help you and your team begin embracing your fears in order to succeed in every environment imaginable. Hoo-yah!
But in that time, I was really digging into fear and wanted to understand how we truly learn to embrace fear. This is one of the most incredible things that you can ever try and understand. Now remember, I told you we're wired for fear, right? We've got this little thing in the middle of our brains. It's called the amygdala. Who in here's heard of the amygdala? Yeah, pretty awesome little device we have, right? It's that thing where you go into a client and you start talking to them and your palms get sweaty and, the hair on the back of your neck standing up and you're shaking and you're like, oh my goodness, my great, and it's just like, man, that's it. And are you going to stay or get into the combat of life and stand tall and achieve and overcome? Or are you going to cower back down and find another route, compartmentalize that fear in places where you don't have to deal with it? Because that's what we do, ladies and gentlemen. Because we're also taught fear our whole lives. I shared with you how every day I'm saying don't do this and don't do that. When I should be saying, hey, have self-confidence and step up and take risks and fall on your face. And, that's why I love my 2.5-year-old so much, and that's why I call her the bruiser. Because she'll literally just be like, boom! And she'll pop right back up, bleeding from the lip, and she's like, what's next, right? So she's teaching me these incredible lessons of how to embrace fear. And that's a huge thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's an incredibly massive thing in life to learn how to embrace your fears. So one of the challenges we have to learn how to do is overcome the natural predisposition that we have for shoving our fear down into the corners of our minds. Shoving it down in places where you can't see it anymore, where you can't find it. But that's what we're taught how to do. So what I've done after all these years is I've come up with a real definition for people to get on board with. So come up here for me, will you? Come on up here. Actually, this right there is fine, so you can be able to read. What I want you to do is go ahead and read that for me out loud. Go ahead.
Fear is a physical reality and learned comfort zone behavior pattern introduced by perceived and real threats, which cause most human beings to respond in a variety of deliberately negative physical, mental, spiritual ways. It causes people to distort reality, inhibit action, manipulate logic, and stall progress. If left unchecked, fear can cause different forms of paralysis and disrupt all critical aspects of your life needed to succeed.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I was nervous here.
He was afraid, right? Awesome. Give him a hoo-yah. All right, so there it is. That's my definition of fear. Now, if anybody in this room has experienced any one of those things, raise your hand for me. I should get every hand in the whole room, right? Because we've all been afraid in our lives. Now, the funny thing is we have some very real, common perceived ideas of fear, don't we? All right, let's just talk about this. Who in here, raise your hand, who's afraid of public speaking? Awesome. Keep your hands up. Excuse me. Awesome. All right, right here, bud. Stand on up for me there, Randy. Get up on that chair, all right? Yeah. All right, turn around and everybody say, hi, Randy. Hi, Randy. Okay, Randy, what I want to hear, whoa, easy day there, bud. All right, Randy, what I want you to do for me is I want you to give me the biggest, baddest, loudest hoo-yah your whole life on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hoo-yah! I'd say he's not afraid of anything, is he? Sit down for me. Public speaking is one of the most feared things in the world. Now, why? It's because all these eyes are trained on you, going, ooh, do you stink? Are you any good? You know, all these things. But you know what? When you're confident in what you're talking about and you know what you're going to deliver, you can overcome that fear simply by doing it over and over again.